Hi, I'm the Lag Dr. Clay Ballard, and this is the lag and release fault and fix section. So if you've been struggling with lag, you're in the right place. Now this is an incredibly important part of the swing. Lag and release actually generates about 70% of your club head speed. So if you're not doing this move correctly, you're going to be struggling with distance and compression. There's a lot of myths out there with lag and release of the golf club, and we're going to address the top 3 in the next 2 videos. So the first myth that you've probably heard before is that we want to set these wrists right away in the backswing. I want to get a lot of wrist hinge, and then I'm going to hold this throughout my swing. Well, if I set my wrist early, I'm setting this club up into a position to where as soon as I start my downswing, I'm going to be casting the club and losing lag. Now the second and the worst myth of all these is that I want to hold on to this angle as I'm coming down. So I'm going to set the angle of my wrist, and as I'm coming down, I'm just going to hold on to this angle of lag all the way through impact. Well, that is a perfect recipe to hit shanks and blocks. So if you want to shank it, you want to block it, that's exactly what I would recommend doing. Obviously, we don't want to do that. I'm going to show you how to do the move properly so that you can start hitting the ball very solid. Now third, we've probably all heard before that through impact, we want that face to be as square as possible for as long as possible, and that's simply not how it works. In the golf swing, this face is going to be rotating, it's only going to be square at impact, and it's going to be releasing. That's going to give you some easy speed, and it's actually going to make you a little bit more consistent. So this is the intro video. The next video I want you to watch is the overview. I'm going to go over these 3 myths, show you the proper way to do these 3 and the improper motions so that you can see exactly what you're looking for, and you're going to know how to draw lines on your computer screen to analyze your own video and become your own coach. And lastly, once you've kind of figured out a couple areas that you may need to work on, you can go to the fault and fix video section. There's a grouping of videos there that's going to pinpoint each specific area and show you exactly what you need to focus on to fix those individual moves. So I can't wait to get started with you guys on lag and release and help you start out driving your friends once and for all. I hope you've enjoyed the intro to the lag and release fault and fix section. I'll now be attaching a preview to the overview of the lag and release fault and fix section. This is usually only available to premium members. Okay, so in the introduction video, we talked about the 3 most common myths with lag and release. If any of those 3 myths sounded like you're in the right place. We're gonna go over in this video exactly how it should look when performed properly and improperly, and show you how to analyze that on video. Now, the one thing that I want all of you guys to remember while we're working through this is that the wrists are never still in the golf swing. I'm never trying to hold any type of angle. My wrists are either gradually setting in the backswing in the first half of the downswing, or they're releasing. At no point in the swing are the wrists going to be still. So I'm either setting the wrist or releasing that angle to get speed. So keep that in mind as we're working through these videos. Now let's go ahead and get started with the first myth. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the very first piece, which is going to be getting wide in the backswing. So here I'm going to demonstrate the incorrect motion, and you can see that my wrists are already starting to bend right off the bat here, and I'm going to set this club very early. So you can see when my hands are about waist high here, a little bit less than waist high, this club is already hinging quite a bit vertically. And what that's going to do is that's going to get my wrist fully set at the top of the backswing. So you can see I have a pretty sharp angle between my right wrist and the club. It's pretty much maxed out here at the top of my backswing, and as I start down, now I'm going to want to be releasing that instead of gaining that angle. So as I start going down, now you can see I've lost this angle of lag. So here I felt like I set my wrist very early. Once they got maxed out, then they wanted to go. So that comes back to the point I had before, which is the wrists never remain still in the swing. They're either gaining lag or they're releasing lag. So if I fully set my wrist in this backswing move and now they're fully set, well, they're going to want to go and they're going to want to start releasing. In a proper swing, I want to get much less wrist set at the top of the backswing. My club's going to be short of parallel instead of all the way to parallel here. And then as I start down, I'm going to be gaining lag for the first half of the downswing instead of losing lag. So here I'm losing lag. So let's take a look at Adam Scott doing this move correctly with a nice wide takeaway and then gaining lag into his downswing. Okay, so here we see Adam Scott making a nice wide takeaway. So as he's taking this club back, the right arm is staying straight. It's forcing his shoulders to make a good turn. and he's getting this big, wide, sweeping takeaway. You can imagine this as if you had a paintbrush in your right hand. You're going to make a big, wide stroke and paint a big, wide swipe as you're going back instead of picking this club up. And that's going to allow your wrist to have very little wrist set. So if you look at his right wrist here, you can see that it's still pretty flat. He hasn't set that wrist a lot. Now as he goes to the top of the swing from here, that's going to allow him to continue to set the club into the downswing. So at the top of the backswing, he's barely short of parallel, or barely past parallel, so just a hair long. But as he's coming down, you're actually going to see that he's increasing this angle. So at this point, all the way into his downswing, he's thinking about building lag. So this is something where he's gaining this angle. Now it's maxed out. So just as I mentioned before, you're either gaining or losing lag. There's no holding on to it at any part in the swing. So here he's maxed out on this angle between his right forearm and the club, and now he's ready to let it go, to let that club whip on through and to get the speed from the release. So it's all about the release. That's where you get the speed, and that's exactly what he's done here. So we can see now as he goes into this release, this right arm is dead straight with the club. So here it had a big angle. We'll go back a few frames. So here there's a big angle between the club and the right arm. He's maxed it out at this point. At this point of his swing, he's thinking about releasing this as quickly as he can to get the speed from that move. If you don't release it, you're not going to get the speed from it. So he's gaining lag all the way into his downswing, then he's letting it go. So let's go ahead and take a look at an improper motion of holding it. So I talked about how he gets speed by releasing it. Let's look at what happens when you hold on to lag and how that can cause some shanks and some blocks. Okay, so now let's get to the biggest myth in lag, and that's that we need to create this angle, create lag, and then just hold on to it throughout the downswing. That's one of the worst things that you can do, and that's going to cause a lot of blocks and shanks if you try to do this in your swing. So here's me exaggerating this motion. I'm really holding on to this, and you can see what happens is I'm never releasing the club. And then look at the face. The hosel is headed straight for the golf ball, so I don't have a golf ball down here, but let's imagine here's my golf ball. Well, look at this hosel. It's headed right for the ball, and the face is wide open. So if I do this in a real swing, that's really going to cause some problems with shanks and blocks. I'm never going to be able to turn that face on over, let it release, and let that face square up. So you can see all the way through impact here, I'm just holding that face open, and that's what's going to happen. A much lesser amount than this. This is really exaggerated so you can get the idea. But I'm going to hold that face open if I try to hold on to lag. It's very difficult to hold on to lag all the way through your downswing and then at the last split second let it go. We have to be letting it go from about halfway down all the way through the ball and into the release. So we can't hold on to it through impact or this is going to happen and you're going to block it. So I actually hit a shot doing this, and let me show you how that worked out for me. Not too good here. So here's the ball. Let me set up with the ball this time, and I have the feeling here that I'm just holding on to this lag and never letting it go. And you can see here my face is very open and it's not going to release through there. So my alignment, I was lined up. Whoops, let me got the wrong tool there. I was lined up toward the right edge of these trees, if you can look at my feet here, and I held on to this, and look where my ball, it shot way out to the right. I actually blocked this one almost into the right rough way over here, so I was about 40 or 50 yard block. You can see my ball up in this area because I was thinking about holding on and not letting go of that angle, and I just blocked it, barely missed shanking it. So if you've been struggling with shanks and blocks, that's what's going on. So let's go ahead and look at one of the best drivers of the golf ball in the game, Henrik Stenson, and how he allows this club to release through impact. Now Henrik Stenson, I hope you enjoyed the first half of this lag and release fault and fix overview video. If you'd like to see the entire video, go ahead and click the link in the bottom right hand side of your screen. That's going to take you to a place where you can sign up for your free membership just in seconds. You'll be able to see this entire video absolutely free of charge, plus you'll receive 30 other high quality instructional videos absolutely free also. So good luck with your golf game, good luck with your lag and release. I can't wait to start working with you more in the future. Now it's time to take action. Don't let another year pass and still be frustrated with your golf game. This is your year to beat all of your friends. Go to the description below and click the link to sign up for your free membership. It will never cost you a dime, and you'll receive over 2.5 hours of detailed, eye-opening video lessons. Plus, you will be able to see the remainder of this video
only available if you click the link on this particular video. Be the first of your friends to join our 40,000 plus free members. We look forward to having you on our team.